Trump Organization faces criminal charges. Is this politically driven? And will Donald Trump go to jail? Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. Be sure to subscribe to this channel and smash that like button. You can also follow America Uncovered on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So, former U.S. President Donald Trump has been investigated for many alleged crimes. But so far nothing has stuck, like his supposed Russia collusion and his supposed instigation of the January 6th Capitol riot. How you feel about those things probably depends more on your politics than your legal analysis. But even though Trump's no longer president, people are still looking for dirt on him. After all, it's not like the U.S. has other, more pressing matters to deal with. But a major new case has some media saying Trump's odds of staying out of prison are rapidly dwindling. Trump could be the first U.S. president charged with a criminal offense. And there's a very real chance Trump will go to jail amid escalating legal woes. And that's thanks to New York Attorney General Letitia James and Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance Jr. For years, they've been investigating the Trump Organization, a group of about 500 business entities owned by the former president. And now, they may have found something. It all hinges on this guy, Allen Weiselberg, the Trump Organization's chief financial officer. Prosecutors allege the Trump Organization and Weisselberg committed tax fraud and falsified business records from 2005 up until last month.
Prosecutors accused Weisselberg and the Trump Organization of compensating top executives off the books so the business and the executives could pay less in taxes. Weisselberg himself is accused of avoiding taxes on $1.7 million in fringe benefits over the past 15 years, including a rent-free apartment in Manhattan, 2 Mercedes-Benz automobiles for him and his wife, and private school tuition for their 2 children. The tuition, the indictment says, was paid by personal checks drawn on the account of and signed by Donald J. Trump.
Now this is big because Weisselberg worked for Trump and his father for decades. He's a treasure trove of the Trump Organization's business secrets. And the most serious charge against Weisselberg, second-degree grand larceny, is a felony that carries a maximum sentence of 15 years. Now, Trump himself hasn't been charged with anything, but some think prosecutors are trying to pressure Weisselberg into giving up dirt on Trump. More after the break. Welcome back. Unless we were demonetized, which is why we need your support to keep America Uncovered rolling. All it takes is $1 per episode on the crowdfunding website Patreon. Visit patreon.com/AmericaUncovered to learn more. New York prosecutors have been going hard on Trump. They've been scrutinizing Trump's tax records, subpoenaing documents, and interviewing witnesses, including Trump insiders and company executives. And this is totally not about politics. No, not at all. Prosecutors have even said it's not about politics. It's just New York Attorney General Letitia James and Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance Jr. are both Democrats, and James in particular has been very vocal about her feelings on Trump. In fact, she ran for Attorney General back in 2018 on the promise of going after Trump.
I believe that this president is incompetent. I believe that this president is ill-equipped to serve in the highest office of this land. And I believe that he is an embarrassment to all that we stand for. He should be charged with obstructing justice. I believe that the President of these United States can be indicted for criminal offenses. And we would join with law enforcement and other attorneys general across this nation in removing this president from office. In addition to that, the Office of Attorney General will continue to follow the money because we believe that he's engaged in a pattern and practice of money laundering the money from foreign governments here in New York State, and particularly related to his real estate holdings.
That's the kind of cool and collected thinking I like in my state's Attorney General. But the case against Weisselberg may just be her ticket to make good on her campaign promise. As I said, Weisselberg knows a lot about the Trump Organization, and with a potential 15-year prison sentence looming over his head, maybe he'll give something up on Trump in exchange for a reduced sentence. That would be especially sweet for Vance, who's leaving office at the end of the year. But the thing you need to understand, this case is super unusual. Now, I'm not saying that everything the Trump Organization has done is 100% legal. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But what's unusual is the prosecutor's main focus is on something that's generally considered very minor: fringe benefits. That is, perks that employers can offer on top of salaries. Legal experts say it's rare to charge an individual or company for failure to pay taxes on employee benefits, which is why Weisselberg's attorney is arguing the case is politically motivated. That's also the argument a lawyer for the Trump Organization is making. He says compensation cases are resolved by civil tax authorities, not criminal charges. Now, before you say this guy's a lawyer for the Trump Organization, of course he's going to say that. Well, a lot of independent lawyers actually agree. According to the Wall Street Journal, some lawyers said if prosecutors were going after the Trump Organization for fringe benefits alone, when few other companies face such charges, it would risk making the probe look biased. One tax law professor even says it looks like scapegoating. But prosecutors are arguing this goes way beyond fringe benefits. They say that's because Weisselberg avoided taxes on employee perks that were worth $1.7 million. And because Trump signed some of these checks, prosecutors are calling this a sweeping and audacious illegal payment scheme. So the prosecutor's argument seems to be that this shouldn't be considered a fringe benefits case because the employee perks were worth a lot of money. But Trump is firing back. He released a statement accusing the radical left New York political prosecutors of continuing the greatest witch hunt of all time. Trump also argued that prosecutors are charging them with things that are standard practice throughout the U.S. business community, and in no way a crime. So Trump is calling this a witch hunt. Sorry, the greatest witch hunt of all time. But sometimes witch hunts are very successful. So should Trump be worried about going to jail? More after this final commercial break. Welcome back. Many people say accountability is coming to Trump himself thanks to the fraud charges. Here's Barbara Ress. She used to work as a VP of Construction and Development for the Trump Organization.
Barbara, knowing what you know about Donald Trump after all of these years, do you think he belongs in jail?
What I've observed over, 20 years or really the last 5 or 6, certainly. I mean, that's an opinion of a citizen, not even somebody that knows Trump. But I do know him, and I know that he's very deliberate, very measured, and very vengeful. And he doesn't follow the rules. He never did follow the rules. So does he deserve to go to jail? I imagine he does.
But that's not a legal case. And for now, it seems unlikely Trump will be headed to prison. Trump's lawyer says that Vance's team told him they would not bring charges against Trump himself. That's probably because they don't have enough to charge Trump. In order to charge Trump, prosecutors would need to show 3 things: knowledge, intent, and participation. That's not easy to do. Which is why they may be hoping Weisselberg knows something big about Donald Trump. And if they put pressure on him, he'll give it up. Former prosecutors told the Wall Street Journal the charges against Weisselberg could be a pressure tactic. So far, the Trump Organization and Weisselberg have pleaded not guilty to the tax charges. But regardless of how this plays out, I don't think some people will ever give up on sending Trump to jail. So what do you think? Will Trump end up in prison? Leave your comments below. And remember, America Uncovered is supported mainly by viewer contributions. Please support us with $1 or more per episode by visiting patreon.com/AmericaUncovered. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.